Right, hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new lesson. Today's lesson is talking about 3 huge mistakes I see people make with the big dog, aka the driver. So let's get tucked into this lesson and find out what we're doing and how to get rid of it for good. So the driver, it's a club I would imagine we all love hitting, you know, swinging it a little bit quicker, trying to get it going a little bit further. When you hit a good one, it feels awesome. And it is, you know, probably one of the most enjoyable parts of the golf game when we get to get it out and give it a good rip down the fairway. But there's a couple of things we need to do to make sure that we are making the most out of our drivers. So I'm going to cover 3 things. Number 1 is going to be what happens with setup. Number 2 is talking about the golf swing itself, and also number 3 is a bit of a common myth that we see with a driver, and we're gonna, if we can get rid of those things, we're going to be driving it good. So let's jump over to the setup one right now. Okay, so the setup, a common fault I tend to see, all revolves around, you know, the angle of attack and what we're doing there. With the iron, we know we want to hit down, so we want to take ball, then turf. With driver, we might be aware that we want to hit it on the up, but it's a lot to do with how we change our setup to help us actually hit it on the up. Because what I would see is a lot of people, let's say that they place the ball half an inch towards target side of their stance with a 7-iron. They take a 7-iron, set up to it, and it's just placed there, make a swing, ball then turf. All good, it's a great shot. Problem is, when they get to driver, what we start to see now is something where it's very much the same. So as you can see here, I've now got quite a neutral set of shoulders here in terms of tilt. We're not seeing that the lead shoulder is tilting up. And also my spining isn't tilted away from the target. What this means is that I'm not able to actually get that ascending blow on the golf court, on the golf ball. So what I'd start to do is maybe get some of the shots where you get it out of the roof of the golf club, it goes shooting up in the air and you don't really get any great distance from it. What also might start to happen is that I start to actually back up to try and create the angle throughout the golf swing. So just by the ball position and how my body is set, I'm not going to create that angle. So what we want to do, I'll just give you a little bit of an aid here visually. We're going to imagine this cane here is going to be the journey my driver takes into the golf ball. So what I do is imagine here it's placed in like this, so we can see now the tip of it is actually just above the golf ball there. So this club would actually be on the way up as it's starting to actually approach the golf ball. I do that by placing my lead heel in line with the golf ball there, so we can see the 2 canes that I've used. 1 to give me an idea of hitting it on the up, and then 2 to give me an idea of where the ball should be in my stance. Then what we need is a little bit of tilt. So we'd want to see that now that even that I've got here, what tends to happen sometimes is people with the club being further up our stance because the ball's moved up our stance, my trail hand now has to come across. So what you see here is the trail shoulder pull out and actually almost gets my spine leaning towards the target a little bit and getting my shoulders in this direction. So what we've got to be ultra aware of, now we've got this ball in the right spot and got the idea of hitting it on the up, we want to see that we're tilting the shoulders back and almost feeling that we pull our trail shoulder in line with the pocket of your trail side. So don't feel that the shoulder, your trail shoulder's out in front of this pocket, feel that it's almost sat back in line with it. So a great way to do it, take your setup, hand on your thigh, slide it down, and then just pull back a little bit. And there's nothing stopping you out on the golf course, just checking where your shoulders are aligned. I almost like my players sometimes to have them a fraction more closed. So ball in the right spot, see that we've not got some actual lean towards the target with the shoulders. Let's see that we've got this almost mirroring this cane here. Lead shoulder up, trail shoulder down, spine's leaning back a little bit, and now we're in a good spot to make that upwards motion and get that ascending attack of attack angle to see that we get a good strike on it. Okay, let's have a look at the second big mistake I see people making. So mistake number two, I'm going to use this to really highlight the difference here. What I see a lot of people do, like I said earlier at the start of the video, it's a fun club, we want to hit it hard, we want to hit it long. So all of a sudden what I start to see is something where we get quite a long golf swing and we don't get a full turn. What I mean by that is something where as we take our swing now, what we see is something where the club starts to move like this, gets really long. But notice now I've not really turned my torso. I've not loaded by making a full rotation. If I make a big turn here, that would look a lot different to just picking my arms up and not making any turn and getting this full rotation. So what we want to see, yes, we want to hit it long and we want to give it a bit of juice, but what we've got to do is make sure that we do it in the right manner by making a big turn and almost feeling this loads over my trail side. So we've got the setup sorted, and then I would feel I've loaded over my trail side. Not that I just take it, swing it long and get my arms collapsing because I'm trying to get the club head as far around as physically possible. I'd want to see a good turn, so it would be here, big turn and load, and now you can see even there the club's not even reached parallel, but I feel like I've really stretched and I've got some great tension to really unload into the golf ball and get some speed from there, instead of good setup all wasted because I've not actually made that coiling movement of the upper body against the lower half. I'm just picking the club up and letting my arms swing it round. So tip number two, and don't make the mistake of trying to swing it long, let's make a big turn instead. Load up and see that you get your power from your loading in your backswing. Okay, so third and final tip, and this came from playing with some friends the other week, and I won't name them, I won't shame them. What I found was that a few holes in, one of the lads topped a few drivers. Normally hits his driver pretty well, but he topped his driver, and one of them was quick to jump on. Right, what you need to do, you keep your head down and we'll look for your ball. Because what you're doing each time, before you've even hit it, you're looking for your golf ball to see if you're going to hit it down the fairway. So don't you worry where it goes, we'll make sure we watch it for you. I don't know how I didn't jump in there, because that's not great advice. What was actually happening, he was staying down for too long, whether he's been told it before. What was starting to happen, good setup, got the ball in the right place, he actually made a pretty decent backswing, but in fear of actually hitting the top, he'd almost shut his body down. So what we saw was that he'd get to here, good wind, and then it was wasted, because everything just went, trying to keep his eye on it for so long that arms suck in, didn't have any rotation, and any power and any good backswing and any moves he'd made in the backswing were all wasted because it was just here in an aid to try and get that good strike. So after about 3 or 4 holes, whispered in his ear, right, come on, let's just see on your next couple, can you imagine you posing for the photo for me? If we were going to come out here and shoot a video with me and you wanted to look good in front of all the people watching, you'd turn through and you'd stare that golf ball down the fairway. You'd watch it go out and you'd watch it drop. You wouldn't make a golf swing, keep your head down, please don't let it have gone wrong. You'd make some shots and you would imagine that you're one of your golfing idols, whether it's Tiger or Rory, and you turned and you followed through into a good, balanced finish. Never have I seen anyone on TV who's any good at driving fall over after hitting it and not turned fully towards the target. Just doesn't happen. If you watch anyone who's a great driver of the golf ball, they do all those 3 things that we've talked about there. They've got a great setup, they load brilliantly into the backswing, and then they smash, turn, balance and watch it go down. So let's put all those three into practice. We're going to go good setup, get the tilt. Okay, we're going to wind up in the backswing, and then we're going to turn into a big finish here. And that is absolutely smoked. I think I've hit it through the fairway. Oh dear, I have. Never mind. Right, so 3 big mistakes I see from people: a poor setup, addressing it like an iron, trying to swing the golf club too long instead of loading and making a good turn in the backswing, and then 3, not turning into a good balanced finish. If you can smash all those points, guys, and see that you start to do that when driving the golf ball, I guarantee you'll hit better drives. So give it a go down at the range. Let me know in the comments down below how it goes for you, and I'll see you in the next golf lesson. Do remember, if you do want more free golf lessons, to hit the subscribe button as well, and I'll see you very soon.